I've started worrying that maybe I've been doing this all wrong. In telling these new histories of Old Texas, I worry that I've been focusing too much on individuals. Individuals can move history, no doubt, but just as often, I've come to believe, they ride historical waves rather than make them. Every now and then, however, some invention, some innovation, or just some change in how technology is used comes along and moves history forward with a momentum of its own. Subtler, perhaps, but far more powerful than any political ideology. Take, for example, cotton. The unprecedented profitability of cotton raising reshaped the economic loyalties of Texas, forever associated land with wealth in Texans' minds, and required a series of political and moral compromises around slavery that would have violent and long-lasting consequences here. Or take the railroad. The railroad annihilated the disadvantages of distance which had kept Texas's economy colonial and set the state on a different trajectory than the rest of the stubbornly agrarian American South. Or what about air conditioning? Can you really imagine 30 million people living in Texas today without it? These innovations became true engines of history. The most transformative engines of history, however, tend to cover their own tracks. Living in an age of integrated circuits and cheap air travel means we can't hardly imagine life before it, which means we also can't see how the genius of the integrated circuit owes an intellectual debt to Comanche pemmican, or how Southwest Airlines might owe its success to a regulatory model developed around the Spanish flood irrigation systems of El Paso and San Antonio. Engines like these concentrate resources behind them and focus the human mind in front of them like nothing else. And so they change how people see the world. The domestication of the horse may have been what created the cantankerous, individualistic political culture of the Lipan Apaches, and then the Comanches, and then Tejanos, and then Anglo-Texans. The Colt revolver enshrined that mythology of self-reliance even more deeply in Texans' views of themselves. And the discovery of oil in Texas in 1901 transformed Texas from a colonial backwater into a first-world economy, and transformed Texas's ever-dogmatic political class from vocal anti-corporate populists into equally vocal pro-business boosters in the course of just a couple generations. And so, in this sense, the histories of the horse, of flood irrigation, of cotton, of the Colt revolver, of pemmican, of the railroad, of Spindletop, of air conditioning, of the integrated circuit, and of aviation aren't really histories at all. They're the reasons why we Texans see ourselves the way we do. This is what I want to explore this season. The 10 engines that most meaningfully propelled Texas history forward, and the 10 innovations that most profoundly shaped our collective psychology as Texans. Our Texanity, as I call it. Welcome to Season 5 of A New History of Old Texas, the engines of Texanity.